That's what it's like in the Navy. I wish I'd never joined for a sailor, mother dear. I've seen some places in my time, but nothing like this here. The girls won't let us court 'em and the canteen's out of beer. And that's what it's like in the Navy. They covered us with honours and praises far from faint. They showered us with medals, against which we've no complaint. But we'd rather that our Jimmy hadn't covered us with paint. And that's what it's like in the Navy. And when we started rolling, we rolled an awful lot. Some people lost their balance or their dinner on the spot, but the whole of bloody two mess went and lost their sodden tot. And that's what it's like in the Navy. There were tough guys in the Navy when Francis banged his drum, and chaps like Hawkins chewed up glass instead of chewing gum. But even they weren't tough enough to drink Maltese water in their rum. And that's what it's like in the Navy. And that's what it's like in the Navy. And that's what it's like in the Navy. I was walking through the dockyard in a panic when I met the Matelot, old and grey. Up on his back he had his bag and hammock, and this is what I heard him say. I wonder, yes I wonder, has the Jaunty made a blunder when he served this draft shit out for me? For years I've been a stanchion on the pride of Jago's mansion. It's a shame to send me off to sea. I like my pride of Kiem, and I like my weekend leaf, and I always bring the Western to the chief. Good morning, chief. Oh, I wonder, yes I wonder, has the Jaunty made a blunder when he served this draft shit out for me? Shall I wander out the sunny straits in glory on a trooper that is chock-a-block? If I speak to shipmates who have gone before me, they are sure to double up with shock. I wonder, yes I wonder, has the Jaunty made a blunder when he served this draft shit out for me? For though we've lots of funnels, we're never rolling gunnels, and I'm always home in time for tea. I've gazed upon the ocean while walking on the Hoe, though I own that that was very long ago, so long ago. But 'tain't no use to holler, I'll have to raise $1 and wangle back to R&B. Up to Cola Inlet, back to Scapa Flow. Soon we will be calling for oil at Petsamo. Why does it always seem to be Flotilla number 23 up to the Arctic Ocean, up to the Barents Sea? When we get to Scapa, do we get a rest? All we get are signals invariably addressed. Savage scorpion from your comedy, what brings you here? Get back to sea, back to the Arctic Ocean, back to the Barents Sea. Now and then we get a slightly different job, but it's always screening around the same old mob, watching the A-boys prang the Hun, with never a chance to fire a quarter gun. Up in the Arctic Ocean, up in the Barents Sea. Once we lay in harbour, swinging round the buoy, waiting for the drifter, but still there was no joy. In came the signal, way proceed, at your best speed, great is your need. Up in the Arctic Ocean, up in the Barents Sea. Over in our mileage, due for boiler clean, when we're not with convoys, they're shooting in between. Now, as you have surely guessed, we do our best, but need a rest out of the Arctic Ocean, out of the Barents Sea. Battleships and cruisers lying round in state, watching poor destroyers sail out with a gate. They're the ships the papers call the fleet. They look so neat, but have no beat. Up in the Arctic Ocean, up in the Barents Sea. What it is to have a crazy number one. All the boys are chocker, although they've just begun. The wretched pilot sits and drinks. The captain thinks the whole thing stinks. We hate the Arctic Ocean, we hate the Barents Sea.
You take the paint pot and I'll take the brush, and we'll paint the ship's side together. And when Jimmy comes along, we'll sing this little song. Thank God we didn't join forever. If the skipper fell into the Oggin, if the skipper fell into the sea, if the skipper fell into the Oggin, he'd get solo lifebelt from me. Swim back, oh swim back you bastard to me, to me. Swim back, oh swimming back you bastard to me. If the jaunty fell into the Oggin, if the jaunty fell into the sea, if the jaunty fell into the Oggin, he'd get solo lifebelt from me. Swim back, oh swim back you bastard to me, to me. Swim back, oh swim back, oh swim back you bastard to me. Rolling and patrolling outside the Dardanelles, waiting for the government so that we can test our shells. We went up to Shenak, but we bloody soon came back. Ain't it lovely rolling and patrolling? Take my tip, pack your grip, get right off this bleeding ship. Bye bye Loch Lomond. Dump my gear upon the quay, then no more you'll see of me. Bye bye Loch Lomond. I will leave the jaunty far behind me, where that lousy bastard cannot find me. So take my tip, pack your grip, get right off this bleeding ship. Loch Lomond, bye bye. Loch Lomond. Bye bye.
On a lovely summer's evening, when all the world was still, two lovers wandered hand in hand beside an old wood mill. He was leaving on the morrow to a land so far away, and as she nestled close to him, she heard her lover say, "You'll be happy, little sweetheart, in the spring. For you those wedding bells will surely ring. And when England's shores are sighted, our two hearts will be united. You'll be happy, little sweetheart, in the spring." On the jetty stands a Matelot in his uniform so neat. He's waiting for the picket boat to take him to the fleet. Then the sirens start a-blowing, to the masts the pennants fly. As the cables rattle down below, she heard her lover cry, "You'll be happy, little sweetheart, in the spring. For you those wedding bells will surely ring. And when England's shores are sighted, our two hearts will be united. You'll be happy, little sweetheart, in the spring." Now the scene is changed again, a last is on the battlefield. Our boys in blue are fighting hard, the glorious flag to shield. Then a stray shot hits our hero, and he's numbered with the slain. As his shipmates gathered round the lad, they sang this sad refrain, "You'll be lonely, little sweetheart, in the spring. For you those wedding bells will never ring. For your sailor lad is lying among the dead and dying. You'll be lonely, little sweetheart, in the spring." In a cottage sits a maiden who is weary, worn and sad. The tears come trickling down her cheeks, a letter she has had. And as she reads that letter, the pain is hard to bear. And long before the morning breaks, she's past all worldly care. And they laid her in the churchyard in the spring. For her those wedding bells would never ring. Not a word of him was spoken, for they knew her heart was broken, as they laid her in the churchyard in the spring. Gosport Nancy, she's my fancy, she's the girl to make good sport. How she'll greet you when she meets you when your ship gets into port. All the Gosport ladies, they love the sailor man, but for finding a way to spend your pay, there's none like Gosport Nan. Gosport girls, they loves their cargle. Gosport girls, they goes their top. Rum and brandy, gin and shandy. Gosport girls, they'll drink the lot. All the Gosport ladies, they swig the flowing can. But for knocking it back with honest Jack, there's none like Gosport Nan. Gosport girls are good at dancing, they're the best, there is no doubt. When the music sets them prancing, hell, they'll fling their skirts about. All the Gosport ladies, they do the French can-can. But for real high kicks and fancy tricks, there's none like Gosport Nan. Gosport Nancy keeps a parlour where the boys can take their ease. She will wake you, yes, she'll shake you, she will do whatever you please. All the Gosport ladies, they do the best they can. But for making a bed for a sailor's head, there's none like Gosport Nan. There's none like Gosport Nan. I've just come away from the wedding. Oh Lord, I could laugh till I cried. I'll never forget the relations I met when I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
Her father, he works in the dockyard. Her brother owns a chandler store. And as for their habits, well, talk about rabbits, they've got half the dockyard ashore.
I asked her old man for a dowry. He gave me a can of soft soap, a bundle of waste and some polish and paste, and 56 fathoms of rope. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
The present we got from her brother was 24 yards of blue jean. Her cousin, the crusher, he sent us note paper, 6 packets of service latrine.
Her family hung flags in the churchyard, and they painted the hallway with flatting. When out stepped the bride, they all piped aside, and she tripped on the coconut matting. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
Now a wedding dress lashed up with spun yarn was clipped from an old whaler's sail, and on top of her head, well, the deck cloth was spread with a spud net in front for a veil.
Her petticoat was made out of hessian, her knickers were made of green baize, while for her suspenders she'd a motorboat's fenders and 2 Potter's gaiters for stays. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
Now most of that church congregation was made up of Wrens on the dole, and in the back pew was the Gusfield Guns crew and half of the standing patrol.
The parson got up in the pulpit. He said, "Who gives this woman away?" And a bloke from the hood whispered,
"Blimey, I could."
But let every dog have its day.
Right, right.
Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Well, now I'm just off on me honeymoon. I don't know what happens tonight, but I've spoke to a few who declare that they do, and they swear she's a bit of all right. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride. Married, married, I married my Jenny Wren bride.
A Matelot and a Pongo were walking one day. Said the Pongo to the Matelot, let's kneel down and pray. And if we have one prayer, may we also have 10.
Let's have a bloody litany, said the Matelot, amen.
The first thing we'll pray for our tot.
Glorious tot makes a shit tot.
And if we have one tot, may we also have 10.
May we have a bloody spirit room, said the Matelot, amen.
And the next thing we'll pray for our beer.
Glorious beer fills us with cheer.
And if we have 1 pint, may we also have 10.
May we have a bloody brewery, said the Matelot, amen.
And the next thing we'll pray for some money.
Glorious money buys us more fanny.
And if we have £1, may we also have 10.
May we have the Bank of England, said the Matelot, amen.
And the next thing we'll pray for our wives.
Glorious wives, pride of our lives.
And if we have 1 wife, may we also have 10.
May we have a bloody harem, said the Matelot, amen.
And the next thing we'll pray for Smalley boys.
Glorious boys, fill us with joys.
And if we have 1 boy, may we also have 10.
May we have a bloody orphanage, said the Matelot, amen.
And the last thing we'll pray for the Queen.
Glorious Queen, long may she reign.
And if she has 1 sprog, may she also have 10.
May she have a bloody regiment,
said the Matelot, amen.
Come here and I'll tell you a story. It's all about Malta, you know. It's all about a leather-bound Jane and a fella called Stripey Joe. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie was still in her 20s. Stripey was past 32. Stripey was running, Blondie had an OD winger too. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie, she went round to Sleeman. Stripey hadn't been with the car. And you all know the place where Blondie went. It was a dive called the Cairo Bar. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie, she walks into the Cairo, orders a nice juicy blue, and over in the corner sat Stripey and his OD winger too. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Stripey saw Blondie approaching. He says, "A sherry for Blondie, please." "I don't want your sherry," says Blondie, "and get your hands off that OD's knees." He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie, she jumps into a Daiso, rolls around to Beagie Bay, and going on board the Warspite, she stole her 15-inch away. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie, she rolls back round to Sleeman, 15 inches well, and aiming by director, she blew the Cairo Bar to hell. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now Blondie, she's up in Corradino, that's if she's still alive. She's chamfering down that 15-inch to make the barrel of a 4.5. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Now this story has a moral, as any Matelot could tell. Never run an OD winger and a blonde barmaid as well. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong.
And I gonna lay dying at the end of a midsummer's day. His comrades were gathered around him to carry his fragments away. The mountain was piled on his wishbone, the breech block was wrapped round his head, a shell was stuck out of his elbow. It was plain that he'd shortly be dead. He spat out a toggle and rammer and stirred in the oil where he lay. And then to his poor mournful comrades these brave parting words he did say. Take the rollers from out of me stomach, take the breech block from out of me neck, remove from my kidneys the hand wheel, there's lots of good parts in this wreck. Take the chase from out of me gullet, the interceptor take from me brain, extract from me liver the striker, and assemble the pom-pom again. I'll be riding a cloud in the morning, an aircraft no more shall I fear, and high on a cloud over Scapa I'll shed all my good friends a tear. So don't mourn too much o'er my body, damn old Hitler and all of his lies. Here's a health to those dead already, let's hope he's the next one to die.
Corrosion has set in down below. The plates are getting thin down below. There's a leak in the forepeak, and how those bulkheads creak. Oh, I hope they last the week down below. Boiler rooms are leaking down below. There's a crack that's nicely seeping down below. Fire and bilge will do their best while the diver's getting dressed. Splinter box will do the rest down below. Chippy wears a frown down below. It's coming in again down below. They've taken up ashore to the foreign naval store, and now they're soaring up some more down below. Chippy's got an ulcer down below. It plays him up a treat down below. His feet are getting wet as he watches concrete set, but he's short of aggregate down below. Oh, the ship is like a sieve down below. I hope they're PST down below. For the lifeboats they inflate premature. Can this be fate?
Oh, we're in a ghastly state down below.
Oh, the crabbiest ship the odds ever laid steamed out of Plymouth on a winter's day. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. She was laid down in Nelson's time, held together with seamen twine. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Her keel is buckled and her rudder won't turn. She's steered by a doby bucket hung on the stern. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Even the fiddling's all a cock. We've a ton of corn dog from Devonport Dock. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. We reached Grand Harbour in the month of May, when we met with the Daiso in Beagie Bay. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Well, the lashings parted and the bottom fell out. There were 4 dozen Matelot swimming all about. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. If there hadn't been so much tickler to save, we all would have met her with the watery grave. We're waiting for the day, waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Now the moral of the story's easy to tell, 'cause we're in the naffy but the skipper's in hell. We're waiting for the day, we're waiting for the day, waiting for the day that we get our pay. Waiting for the day that we get our pay.
Mary was a 3-badge Wren, her hair was fair and curly. She joined the Wrens in 1910, just 30 years too early. Though she has a bit of fun, she never gets detention. Her D-mob group is #1, she well deserves a pension. Mary is a pusser's lass, she wears her blackout undies. For a glamour girl she wished to pass, and so she changed them Easter Sundays. She makes love to boatswain's mates, they are the Navy's he-men, though the one she most appreciates are able-bodied seamen. She knew her KRs and AIs, at them she'd never falter, until she met a swell GI who led her to the altar. So learn by Mary's awful fate, you Wrens who flirt a trifle, you may end up a gunner's mate and have to clean his rifle.
They say in the Air Force the landing's okay if the pilot gets out and can still walk away. But in the Fleet Air Arm the prospect is grim if the landing's piss poor and the pilot can't swim. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. I fly for a living and not just for fun. I'm not very anxious to hack down a Hun. And as for deck landings at night in the dark, as I told Wings this morning, blow that for a lark. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. When the batsman gives lower, I always go higher. I drift o'er to starboard and prang my sea fire. The boys in the goofers all think that I'm green, but I get the commission from Supermarine. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. They gave me a barra to beat up the fleet. I shot up the Rodney and Nelson a treat. I forgot the high mast that sticks out from for mid, and a seat in the goofers was worth 50 quid. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I'll still have to render my A25. I thought I was coming in high enough, but I was 50 feet up when the batsman gave cut, and loud in my earphones the sweet angels sang, float, 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 prang, cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. When you come o'er the round down and sea wings frown, you can safely assume that your hook isn't down. A dirty grey barrier looms up in front, and you hear wings shout, switch off your engine, you fool. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. The moral of this story is easy to see. A fleet air arm pilot you never should be, but stay on the shore and get 2 rings or 3, and go out every night on the piss down at Lee. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25. Cracking show, I'm alive, but I still have to render my A25.
When HMS Hood went down in the deep, that was the news that made most mothers weep, for their sons who had fought for their country so proud lie deep down below with the sea for a shroud. They're sleeping in heavenly peace, sleeping in heavenly peace. Then came the day with her guns in full play. The Hood, she was sunk that sad day in May. They had a duty that they had to do. We're all so proud of the red, white and blue, but for our boys we are sad. Yes, for our boys we are sad. It was King George V, the Prince of Wales too. They took in hand what the Hood had to do. The Norfolk, the Suffolk, Dorsetshire as well, together with Rodney, sent Bismarck to hell. Now the seas, they are clear, all is well. Yes, the seas, they are clear, all is well. So mothers and wives and sweethearts, be proud, though your boys lie below with the sea for a shroud. They were fighting for freedom, let's never forget. For us to be British, and British we're yet. They're sleeping in heaven